Notice how the shape in this video instantly snaps into focus as something you recognize. This is a constant part of being human, spotting a friend in a crowd, or knowing exactly how to use a tool the moment you pick it up. For a long time, we've described this process as a series of tiny light switches. The idea was that your brain cells simply wait for enough information to arrive, and then they fire, sending a sudden loud electrical surge to the next cell to pass the message along. But this firing is just the final result. There is a whole world of activity happening in the quiet, unseen moments that lead up to it. Before a brain cell ever sends that loud signal, it exists in a shifting internal state. It is constantly being shaped by thousands of tiny hints and signals from its neighbors, a process scientists call subthreshold dynamics. To understand this, think of your brain not as a machine of switches, but as a bustling town square. Before a public announcement is ever made over a loudspeaker, thousands of people are milling about, having quiet, overlapping conversations. If we only listen for the loud shouts, we miss the delicate, invisible interactions that set the stage for everything we think and feel. In our metaphorical town square, people talking about similar things naturally start to find one another. They might gather in small circles or hold hands, forming groups that share a specific topic. In the brain, we can think of these linked-up patterns as tokens. These aren't physical parts of the brain, but temporary groupings of activity representing simple features, like the specific curve of a line, a patch of color, or a soft texture. These simple tokens then link arms to form even larger networks. This is how the brain represents complex objects, like the shape of a dog's ear, a familiar face, or the weight of a hammer in your hand. This entire intricate web of meaning is built through those quiet, sub-threshold conversations. It is a stable, pulsing state of readiness that exists before any single neuron ever fires a loud signal. This is a much more flexible way of thinking than the old idea that a single, isolated brain cell is responsible for holding the entire concept of an object on its own. Instead, our understanding of the world is a collaborative effort, an assembly that is built and rebuilt every second through these cooperative networks. This raises a big question. If there is no central leader or boss in the brain, how does a specific thought gain enough strength to grab your attention? It happens through momentum. It's like a crowd in the town square naturally gathering around the most interesting conversation because they're hearing the same news from multiple different people. When sensory information and memories all support one specific network, that group naturally becomes more excited. It doesn't have to fight the other groups. The others simply lose steam and fade into the background because they aren't receiving that same level of support. As the diagram turns, you'll notice there is no central hub or command center. The winner emerges purely from the natural dynamics of the network itself. Over time, the brain gets much faster at this. It uses a chemical called acetylcholine to help prioritize these winning conversations. Acetylcholine acts like someone handing out coffee and paving permanent walkways between people in the square who talk to each other frequently. This makes it much easier for those specific citizens to find each other and coordinate next time. Through this process, our experiences naturally carve the pathways of our minds, making the thoughts we need most often much faster and easier to access. These connections are so well paved that they create a seamless stream of thought. Activating one idea naturally ripples through the network to wake up the next. For instance, the tokens for a dog's ear share many pathways with the tokens for a human ear. Because they are part of the same general concept of anatomy, activity can flow naturally between them based on your past experiences. So, if all this complex work is happening in those quiet, sub-threshold murmurs, where does our actual conscious awareness come from? Think of conscious experience as the moment a network of tokens becomes so stable and highly excited that it finally crosses the threshold into awareness. It's the moment when the town square's most supported conversation finally becomes clear enough to be heard by everyone at once. Our mental life feels unified and whole because of this incredible coordination. It doesn't need a central controller. It is a beautiful, stable harmony that emerges from the thousands of quiet whispers happening inside your mind.